Good.
Hello, I'm Kathy Benowitz. I'm the director of the Edward Hopper House Museum and Study Center in Nyack, and thanks for joining today on Instagram Live. We're going to wait a few minutes or a few seconds for people to join us. I know we haven't said I was going on, but I'm really excited to be doing this for my first time for the Edward Hopper House. We'll wait just a couple minutes for people to join us. In the meantime, please let us know where you're from, what you do, and we'd love to stay in touch. Please feel free to ask any questions at the end, and I'll do my best to help answer, or we'll get back to you. I'm standing in the gallery of the Josephine Nivison Hopper show, which is a really beautiful exhibit. I know we've featured it a couple times at Instagram Live. I'll be talking a little bit about a grant that helps to support this as well in just a minute. So, folks are joining. That's great. Thanks for joining us, everyone. It's a cold day here in Nyack, but blue sky. Great. Well, again, my name is Kathy Benowitz. I'm the new director of the Edward Hopper House. I started just a couple months ago in October, and I'm here today to tell you some really great news about some important grants that we've received recently. We've not received one grant, we've not received two grants, we've not received three grants, but we've got four incredible grants that I want to talk to you about today. Three of them are from the New York State Council of the Arts, which goes by NYSCA. And they are have been a tremendous source of support for us over the decades. The two of the ones that we just received this December are part of a much larger pandemic relief program that the state issued, giving money and funds to organizations, especially museums, cultural nonprofits, to help get over the pandemic impact. So we received money not only for our general operating and for the care of our house, but also to help stimulate the economy, to help hire. It'll help us support independent contractors, guest curators, guest musicians, educators, to support the programs that we do throughout the year. So it's our way of being given money to then turn around and help people in our own community and state. So we're really excited to be part of that initiative. A third grant that we received from NYSCA is supporting a very important exhibition that's near and dear to the house and to our mission of the Edward Hopper House Museum. This grant is supporting a very important and long-planned exhibit on Edward Hopper's childhood. This exhibition will be in throughout the house, but focused in our gallery area on the ground floor and our Sanborn Gallery, which was ironically coincidentally the kitchen of the house where Edward Hopper grew up. This exhibition is going to look at three spheres. It's going to look at his what life was like in the house for him and his family, what Nyack was like in the 1880s and 1890s, and also life along the Hudson and everything that he observed and saw. We're going to look at all of these and come up with really the essence of what it was that were formative experiences for Edward Hopper's childhood that shaped him as both an individual but also as an emerging artist. That show is going to open in the fall, and I'm going to save some more comments on that when we do a full announcement on the exhibition. But it's going to be very, very exciting. A fourth grant, and it's the first time the Edward Hopper House Museum has received it, is from New York Humanities, which is a very important supporter of both museums, state and local history. And the New York Humanities has given us a grant that supports the current exhibition on Josephine Nivison Hopper, Edward's Muse, and that is specifically going to be for a public free lecture at the Nyack Library featuring our guest curator, Elizabeth Thompson Colery. She will be speaking at 2 o'clock on March 6th on Sunday, March 6th at the library, not only on the themes of this exhibition, but also on the role of Jo, who Jo was before she married Ed. She was part of a creative community in New York, part of the Bohemian set in Greenwich Village, and Beth Colery will bring into focus the creative vision of Josephine, its impact on Edward Hopper's own career, and explore the context for their 1924 marriage that lasted for 43 years until they both died. So when Jo stepped into the role as Edward's wife, she served, as you know, as his model, his agent, manager, his social secretary, and record keeping. So we have to ask the question, what would Edward have ascended to in the canon of American masters without Jo? So these are some of the things that Beth will be talking about in the lecture. So I just want to finally make a point that we are so pleased to be receiving and so proud to be receiving these grants from NYSCA and Humanities New York. They are so appreciated. But these are also just part and parcel of what we do to keep our house running, to better serve you, our members, and our visitors. And your continued support through our annual appeal and other membership and other means is equally as important and impactful. So please don't think that these grants replace that in any way. But we do invite you to plan a trip to Nyack, to stop by and to make sure you come before March 20th, because that's the day that Josephine Nivison Hopper will be closing. We're going to miss having Jo in the house, but for the next 6 weeks she's going to be alive and coming to fruition through her beautiful artworks. So thank you very much. I look forward to comments. Please feel free to ask questions or comments in the chat, and I will answer them.
Someone wanted to know if he was born in the house and how long did he live in the house?
Yeah, so Edward Hopper was born in the house. This was actually his great grandparents' house that his mother inherited. And they lived here and was born probably in the same room where he lived as a teenager, because the house was added onto in around 1882, his birth year. And actually this year is the 140th birthday anniversary of his birth. So he was born at home, which was the custom at the time, and lived in the house until he moved to New York when he was in his 20s.
What are the museum hours?
Our museum hours, that's a good question. We've just recently expanded them. We're now open on Friday afternoons from 1 to 5, and then 12 to 5 on Saturdays and Sundays. We also take appointments in advance for weekday visits. That's our current public hours.
Do we know when jazz is starting?
Jazz is starting. That's really exciting. This is our 42nd annual jazz program this summer, Jazz in the Garden. And it'll be starting on July 7th. It starts always the first Thursday after the 4th of July. So for the next 8 weeks, from July 7th onward, there will be weekly jazz in our garden. And it's going to be a super special year this year. And last year, so many people came out to our garden. It's a very safe community space, an opportunity to interact with people they haven't seen in a while, to enjoy music, and to enjoy the summer season. So come, keep an eye out. We'll be taking advanced ticket reservations for that later this spring.
What are the upcoming exhibitions outside of the Boyhood show?
Well, one of the shows that's opening on April 1st is something that we haven't announced yet, but I'm doing it right now. Lillian Tomasco is going to be having a one-woman show here. It's called Evening Wind by Lillian Tomasco. It takes inspiration from Edward Hopper's famous etching, Evening Wind, which shows a woman sitting at the end of an unmade bed with the curtains blowing from a wind coming in from the outdoors. She's taking that as a point of inspiration and curating with her project manager Faye Deming an incredible exhibition of her work that explores the domestic realm and the image of bed sheets and the stories of that these abstractions can have in your own sleep, but also in looking at art. So that'll open April 1st and continue through most of the summer.
All right.
Great. Thank you very much. And again, thank you to NISCA and Humanities New York. Thank you to everyone who is tuned in. Please stay in touch with us through social media. You can find our link in our bio that'll take you to our website. If you want to learn more, sign up for our emails. And we'll always use our social media channel as a way to keep up to date with what we're doing here and what's going to be happening. So again, thank you and goodbye from the Edward Hopper House.